Why is the central limit theorem such a big deal in our everyday lives? Well, it's like this. Imagine you're trying to know the average height of all adults in your city. It's impossible to measure everyone, right? But here's the magic of the central limit theorem. It tells you that by measuring just a few people randomly, you can confidently estimate the average height of all adults in your city. The central limit theorem, or CLT for short, is a cornerstone of probability theory. It states that if you take a large enough number of independent and identically distributed random variables, their sample mean will be approximately normally distributed no matter the distribution of the individual variables. Let's unpack that a bit. By independent and identically distributed, we mean that these variables do not influence each other, and they share the same probability distribution. Now, what about sufficiently large? This can vary depending on the distribution of the individual variables, but generally, a sample size of 30 is considered large enough. So, if you meet these conditions, the central limit theorem comes into play. It allows you to calculate the standard deviation of the sample mean using the formula. Standard deviation of the sample mean equals the standard deviation of the individual variables divided by the square root of the sample size. With this standard deviation, you can then calculate confidence intervals or conduct hypothesis tests about the population mean using the standard normal distribution table. The central limit theorem is a key player in many areas. From public opinion polling, quality control and medical research to economic forecasting, it's the unsung hero making sense of the world around us. Consider our earlier example about estimating the average height of adults in your city. If you randomly select, say, 100 adults and find that the average height is 5'10", you can use the central limit theorem to calculate a 95% confidence interval for the average height of all adults in your city. That confidence interval might be between 5'9" inches and 5'11". This means you can be 95% confident that the average height of all adults in your city is between these two figures. In essence, the central limit theorem is a powerful tool that lets us make educated and confident inferences about larger populations based on smaller samples. So, next time you see a poll or a study, remember the central limit theorem is probably working behind the scenes, making it all possible.